Information workplace is a journey. It's not a platform. It's not a technology platform. It is not a strategic platform. It is a journey in whole, and you cannot really decide on a few policies and procedures and say we're going to have information workplace in 6 months' time.
I think the kinds of things I've seen in terms of the information workplace are very exciting for me, because I really see some huge advantages in terms of the user experience. I can appreciate now that creating a very intelligent platform means that you can ensure that the user has a very simple and a very intuitive experience. So the information is never far away from reach. It's visible. It can be discovered easily, either with a click or with a swipe, depending on the device you're using. And I think that's critical to people's take-up of the technology.
And the information is being generated in different silos. So information sits in the form of unstructured content, in form of documents, email attachments, paper, records. Information also sits in lot in databases, and it's pretty much not useful if it's not surfaced to the people. And information is also generated by the processes. So there are a lot of applications and processes which any business needs to run. For example, HR, finance, retail, depending on which vertical industry you are in. There's a lot of information in applications, and applications are working as independent, standalone applications.
So we've got these siloed tools, as most organisation has, and it's so frustrating when you are have these boundaries around content areas or project areas, and it's almost like the organisational organogram dictates your information provision rather than what is actually useful.
Well, we are also very much a victim of this siloed mentality. We've had some very strong structural hierarchies which we've had to effectively demolish and rebuild. And we've done that through an alignment with our customer base. So for the first time in the organisation's history, we're very closely aligned to the needs of our customers. That integration, I feel, will also improve the efficiency with which we understand what we've got to do to satisfy the customer requirements. But you can't do that in a vacuum. You've got to have the right sort of platform in place and the right sort of investment. And as far as I'm concerned, what I really do need is something that's flexible, scalable, that has some future proof in terms of how we can extend this. And one of the things that I really like about the concepts that I've seen is this idea that we can build the framework, and then we can start bringing in modules of information, data points that will be relevant to the various stakeholders as and if it's required. We want to put information within one click of the user. So if we can create an environment that succeeds in a great user experience, where people feel that they have a great degree of control over the information that they can see, I believe that that's a very engaging environment, and that will give people the benefit and realise the efficiencies that you want out of information technology. One of the most important things I feel we can deliver is a framework where people feel that they can create their own dashboard or their own environment, personalise that to the extent that you can, whilst keeping a corporate framework and an environment that gives them all of the information that the company requires them to absorb or to collaborate with. So I'm looking for a collaboration space that not only provides us with interaction, collaboration tools, and an environment where we can socialise information, but also want to provide the management and the core management teams with data that's actionable, that they can feel that there is confidence in the information and they can react accordingly and make those decisions.
Information workplace is you have to combine your processes, consolidate your data, and you have to bring your unstructured information to map to these processes and data, and then you need to change your people or mold them or manage them to start interacting with these systems. And that's where we are heading towards. If you want to achieve your knowledge management goals, your change management is one aspect, and the other aspect is having an information management platform in place so that people can follow the change.
When we set out to look at our digital strategy, we looked at 4 points of information. We looked at obviously the technology. Did we have the right technology in place? The second was, did we have the right data? Were we accessing the right data and utilising that data? The other area of strong interest was, do we have the right processes in place? But critically, we then started looking at, do we have the right people in the right places? And you can only answer that question if you start reflecting your customer base. And you must do that in terms of your overall communications. So how you position yourself, how you present yourself versus the opposition or the competition is quite critical. So you want to always have at your core the brand values and the importance of keeping the customer as your main point of interest in everything you do. So we also have internal customers, and we obviously recognise that our partners form a great deal of our customer base as a former wholesaler. So we have 3 separate stakeholders effectively as customers, and I see those integral to succeeding in our digital strategy. If you don't have the right people in the right places, you don't have the right processes in place, you don't have the right technology, and you don't have the right data, then your strategy is likely to fail.
It's not necessarily just going in a big bang theory way. It is a journey where you start consolidating your systems, your processes one by one or 5 at a time, whatever, depending on the size of the organization. So it can start from a small document management system for the legal department, or it can start with a self-service, web-based, rich user experience for 2 of your apps, and then you start consolidating things.
Whilst it looks like an unachievable objective, if you set out some very clear goals and take those as part of an overall plan, it's much easier to implement this as part of a strategic environment. So I think looking at this as part of a strategic framework, but then executing in terms of a tactical and a very modular approach is always a way of safeguarding your investment and making sure that you don't overinvest in one particular area.
If you want to get into that journey, you need to have a future-proof, top-of-the-range platform in place. You need to have a good implementation partner who can guide you in that journey, and you need to have the right people involved and right interest from the stakeholders.